Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. Back in January of the year 2022, not only was it announced that Craig of the Creek would be getting a fifth and what would end up being its final season, but it was also announced that Craig of the Creek would be getting a spin-off series in Jessica's Big Little World, being a preschool show meant for Cartoonito, but it would also be getting a movie in Craig of the Creek the movie. I know it's a very original title, but now we have some new details on both Craig of the Creek the movie and Jessica's Big Little World, so without further ado, let's get into this. First and foremost, we'll discuss the Craig of the Creek movie, which has gotten a release window. It's been confirmed by Cartoon Network that this movie is indeed coming this year. We don't exactly know when this year, but there's not all that much time left. We have October, November, and December, so one of those 3 months, the Craig of the Creek movie will be premiering on Cartoon Network. And in addition to that, we have a synopsis for the movie which reads as follows. Craig Williams is the shy new kid in town, longing for his old home and life. Little does he know he'll soon set off on the biggest adventure he could ever dream of. Treasure maps, pirate ships, and a villain who wants to destroy the creek are just the beginning in this treasure hunting epic. So yeah, it seems like this is going to be an origin story for Craig of the Creek, which I was unaware of until now. I haven't paid the closest attention to Craig of the Creek. It's a series that I watch on the air here and there. I'll see some reruns of the show. I do think it is a good series, but it's not something that has grasped my attention that I want to be seeing every single episode of the show. Now, in addition to that, we also have an announcement for when Jessica's Big Little World will be premiering, and Jessica's Big Little World will be premiering on Monday, October 2nd at 8 a.m., and it will be streaming on Max on October 7th. And there's also a synopsis for this series which reads, the series follows Craig's bright, independent, spirited little sister Jessica as the Creek's favorite first grader embarks on adventures of her own. And that's pretty much all we know about Jessica's Big Little World, and like I said, that's coming on October 2nd to Cartoon Network via the Cartoonito block. And this is all a part of the big send-off for Craig of the Creek, because as I said before, this series is slated to end after its 5th season concludes. And right now, the 5th season is currently airing. We've gotten the 8th episode of the season on July 14th of this year. So it's been a little while since we've seen an episode premiere for Craig of the Creek. But nevertheless, we can presume that this show will be concluding at some point next year. We know that the movie's coming out this year within the next 3 months. We know that Jessica's Big Little World is coming out on October 2nd. And it looks like Craig of the Creek will officially be wrapping up at some point next year. I mean, it is possible too that they extend this series even further, just, sparsing out the episode air dates, the release dates for these new episodes, because as we know, Cartoon Network doesn't really air weekly episodes of their ongoing series anymore. That's a thing of the past, unfortunately. And you know what's interesting about that actually is that Adult Swim airs weekly episodes, but for whatever reason, Cartoon Network does not. But nevertheless, as I said before, Craig of the Creek's 5th season has aired 8 episodes thus far. And a given season of Craig of the Creek generally has around 40 episodes, the most being 40 and the least being 36. So between 36 and 40 episodes, we could presume this 5th and final season of the show is going to have. And we've had 8 airs so far, so that would give us a lot of episodes to squeeze into next year. I will say though, it was confirmed by someone who works on the series that 7 of the episodes for the final season were cut. So we can presume that there might be around 30 to 33 episodes, and 8 of those have aired already. So if we're looking at 30 episodes, there's 22 episodes left. So it is feasible for Cartoon Network to squeeze those all into next year. I would hope that's what they do, because it would really suck if you're a fan of this series. And I will say I haven't seen any of the more recent episodes, so I don't know what's going on as far as, an ongoing plot or any plot points that are strung along through the season. But I would imagine that there's something going on, and if you're a fan of this show, it would really suck for you to have to wait a whole 2 years to see the conclusion of the season, since it started this past summer in July. I would presume that we'll probably get episodes maybe a little bit at some point this year. Maybe we'll have a week of new episodes. Then they'll probably do that a few more times next year, and I would imagine that by the time the end of the summer rolls around, Craig of the Creek will be over. As I said before, I haven't seen every episode of the Craig of the Creek. I like it. I think it's a good show. It's just not something that I'm running to see every episode of, but given that this show is concluding and most likely at some point next year, it brings up an interesting topic of discussion as to what's replacing it. What is Cartoon Network going to air? Because if this show is ending, that means the only current series that they have that is airing new episodes on a semi-consistent basis is Teen Titans Go, and that's literally it. We can't survive on one show having new episodes on a semi-consistent basis. We need more than that. So it's kind of curious to see what ends up happening from here with Cartoon Network and what do they do going forward, because their future's a bit uncertain. You know, I've said recently that Warner Brothers Animation has a bright future, and I truly believe that, but what is Cartoon Network's future as a brand and as a channel? And that's an interesting topic that we can discuss another day. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. Are you guys going to be checking out the Craig of the Creek movie later this year, and will you be checking out Jessica's Big Little World? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.